babies.
Thank you, Irene.
Hey, we all got the black shirt memo today.
Is that funny? And your shirt doesn't even fucking look black.
Well, it's this fucking camera. It's black as black, baby.
Is this the camera that Simple Mind Sports Show gifted you?
Uh-huh.
I don't believe it.
Is this Billy Banged Up Day today, too?
Feels
This is the one, bitch. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great.
It's not like we have a long night ahead of us. It's the first show of 3, so
Yeah. I switched to water, though, so hopefully I'll even out here in a little bit.
okay, good.
How many edibles did you take, though?
I just did that, but I've been drinking fucking vodka lemonade since about 11:30 this morning. So let's have a day.
Sunday is Bill's day. Okay.
Every day is Bill's day. Let's be honest with each other.
This is the queen. This is
his life. This is his world. We're just living in it.
You're just jealous, Ray. You come on here, you always sound miserable. I'm out here living life, having a great time. You're contemplating suicide and leaving for cigarettes and never returning. Like, you see the difference? Say, like, this is the way you should live your life. It's the way you should live your life. You're just going to have it be so much better. You'll be so much happier in life, Ray. That's all I want to see for you, baby girl.
Ray, do you have anything to say?
Nope.
Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show. Monday headlines, August 3rd.
Second.
Calendar hasn't flipped yet. That was never going to happen for me.
No.
I know it's the first today because tomorrow's the second. This is Monday headlines, the Simple Mind Sports Show. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, rate, review. If you're listening on the podcast, do the same. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Share it, and then do it all over again. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show.
I like when Bill's drunk like this because he's very enlightful, passionate.
Enlightful's not a word.
Yeah, it's not a word.
Not? Are you sure?
Enlightened and insightful are both two different words.
No,
not
fuck
together.
You. I combined them.
Bottom of the totem pole of dumb. That's
I don't do words well.
Write that fucker down in crayon with your left hand, and let's see if we can get that into Webster's. Bill is very enlightful today.
Thank you.
What does enlightful mean? Fucked up. That's it. That's how that definition is going to go. Speaking of that, if you're going to drink, please do it responsibly, not like the bottom of the trash bag of dumb that is Bill. I just came up with that.
I like that.
Bottom of the trash bag of dumb. That's not quite
I'm
at the
not
bottom
that
of totem
dumb.
pole.
I am not that dumb.
Trash bags sometimes float, so you can catch them. Depends on the equilibrium of the. All right, so if you're going to drink responsibly, please do it with White Birch Brewing, our favorite New Hampshire craft brewery. What do you got there, Ray?
The Golden Lager.
Oh, you've been digging on those things too, and you know you're going to get tall boys down at White Birch Brewing at Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Head on down to the brewery. Get yourself some all-American lagers there. If you can't get down to the
golden lagers.
Well, I was just
Same
saying
thing.
the can.
It's all American can. Jesus Christ, Ray. You'll never move from down here.
I take back what I said about Bill.
God damn it, Ray. How do you miss mother jokes like that? And he puts his hand over his crotch. It's just like your mother. That's a perfect landing spot for that. Keep up. God damn it.
Because he's got two in the chamber right now. I can't fucking do anything right now. He's on a roll.
Ray is already fucking. He's already shook.
We're 5 minutes in. Already in its head, baby. I live rent-free. Rent-fucking-free.
Maybe a little bit more of that golden lager. Sorry, Ray. We'll get you back on your toes. If you can't get down to the breweries to catch that, get your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you White Birch Brewing. This should quiet Bill up for a second. We're going to start Celtics, Raymond. We're going to start some Boston Celtics. I know that there's, this is a really good time for sports generally. July is the dog days of summer, as they like to be called. It's a dead zone for sports. Nay, not anymore. This shit's been popping off. So there's a lot to get to. We're going to start here with the C's. Brad Stevens is on a warpath. This guy is fucking drunk with power, and I absolutely love it. So it was the NBA draft, which we'll get to. Very boring. The Celtics selected some French guy at 45 overall. Nothing to report there. We'll touch on it briefly.
Some white guy signed too.
Okay, thanks, Bill. More importantly, what came through after the draft were a couple of successive trades here by Brad Stevens. The first being Tristan Thompson and his Kardashian ass was shipped down to Hotlanta. And in return, Chris Dunn, which is an interesting little thing from Boston. He went to Providence. He was very highly regarded as a pick for the Boston Celtics in whatever draft Jaylen Brown went. Chris Dunn, I think, went 5 or 7 overall.
4.
Brown.
He went 4 to the Bulls.
No,
but he was on the Bulls. Yeah, because he got traded for Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
was it because
he started his career with the Bulls. I just remember from that time period that people were very much in on Chris Dunn, and the Celtics took Jaylen Brown, which was people weren't happy with it. Obviously,
well, the whole fan base booed Wick in the fucking press the live draft day.
Was good on that one for one of his last good moves. Anyway, regardless, Chris Dunn is linked to be on the move. Ray, you had mentioned that first when that trade went down. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then the very next day, Moses Brown, who came over in that deal with Kemba Walker and Al Horford, he was flipped to Dallas for Josh Richardson and his $11 million point something salary, which eats up the rest of the TPE that Danny Ainge stupidly spent on Evan Fournier. So, hey, round of applause for Brad Stevens, not letting that $11 million go to shit. Bringing in a guy that frankly sucked last year in Josh Richardson, but was good on Miami a couple seasons back. He's a depth piece. He's a 3-and-D guy. We'll see what he can do for you. But more importantly, it looks like Brad is setting himself up to go get a max contract guy, Bradley Beal, next year. There's a lot of things that have to play with that, but he's bringing on expiring deals. He's leaving himself open next season. And last piece on the Celtics news, and I'll throw it over to you, Ray. A part of that, in terms of Brad Stevens setting himself up for next year, we heard Evan Fournier reportedly wants 4 years, $80 million. That's a $20 million AAV per year. The Celtics immediately came out and said, no, we're not giving you that fucking contract. And I think rightfully so, because if they're looking to be as flexible as possible next year to bring in a max guy or close to it, obviously you can't have $20 million on the books for Evan Fournier. What do you think he's worth it or not? Most would probably say no. I throw it over to you, Ray. What do you think?
I don't think it's worth it. I think 1 year, like you're saying, so he can still play with that max deal for next year, because you have so many free agents coming up that are max kind of guys next year. So you want to have that flexibility, even if you can't get a Bradley Beal, someone on that pipeline that can get a max deal. So, yeah, I think Brad Stevens is doing the wise thing, unlike what Danny would do, and freeing up cap space, getting the pieces that you can, like bargain basement shopping right now, so you can still have a competitive roster, but set yourself up for gold next year.
Yeah, and to your point, when you say the 1 year on our Texas chain, it said the contemplation was sign Evan Fournier for an overmarket deal for this year so you can stay competitive. And shit, I'd still pay him 1 year, $25 million. I'd pay him 1 year, $27 million. Whatever the fuck, who cares at that point? As long as his money's off the books next season, Bill. What do you think of these moves? The Chris Dunn, Josh Richardson, the greater thought process here with Brad Stevens.
I mean, the big thing is with throwing Marcus Smart, you have $30 million in expiring contracts this year. So, I mean, if you want to make a move for a max guy this year, you have the chance to do it with the expiring contracts. I mean, these teams that want to rebuild, Damian Lillard's been floated out there. He's 44. You got $30 million expiring. You could kind of flip something like that. There's teams that are going to want that, especially if you want to attach first round picks to it. So, I mean, it's good for him. I mean, he clearly showed that he didn't like shit on the roster, but it now gives you the flexibility this year to make moves.
It's actually a great point. Let me before we move on to Fournier, because I didn't really put 2 and 2. I think Bradley Beal's contract is 28.8, 28.9 million. To your point, Bill, you just got 30 million of expiring deals for a couple guys that you can flip if you want. And Bradley, obviously, we'll get to the Lakers trade with the Wizards. Bradley Beal is now on a fucking sinking ship. He said he's not expecting, he doesn't want the trade, yada, yada, yada. He's playing the PR game. But come mid-season, if they're out of it and the Celtics are middling or whatever, I'm sticking with Bradley Beal, because there was a report that Jason Tatum is in conversations with Brad Stevens. This was in a post game, the last Olympics game.
27-point Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum led these guys to a win in the third quarter. On the post game, was asked about the Celtics and said, yeah, Brad's been talking to me. I trust Brad to do the right things. He fucking wants Bradley Beal. He's made it clear. Brad Stevens is making all the moves to get him. To your point, Bill, whether it's this year or in the offseason, they are setting themselves up to be available for Bradley Beal because Jason Tatum wants him. And whatever, he's a fucking leading scorer in the NBA. So sure, go get him.
Bill,
Sorry to interrupt you.
Bill, can I add on real quick? Can I add on real quick?
Of course.
With that Tristan Thompson deal, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but he got shipped to Sacramento from Atlanta, and they're saying now it's a 3-team trade, and don't be surprised if Boston moves some more assets for Tristan Thompson to Sacramento. So there could be some more guys getting off the books. So the salary caps could be dumped more right now for what's going on.
If the last guy to move, Al Horford's the last guy with big money on there, right? And
they're saying Carson Edwards. They're saying guys like that.
Edwards wants out. Waters wants out because he wants to be a real player. He was the G League Rookie of the Year. He wants to be up here playing in the NBA. But it just sets up more money too, and more opportunity to move some guys to just get this year. I'm fine if you overpay Fournier for 1 year. I think, like you said, 25, 27 million, I'd pay him 30, just give him up 1 year. What else are you going to do? You're kind of in, they say they're in on a bunch of guys, Patty Mills, shit like that. Right now, I think Evan Fournier is probably the better of the guys they're in on outside of Lonzo Ball. Yeah. Truthfully, you want to get him in one next year. And the thing about Al Horford, he's on a big deal this year, but his contract next year for X amount of dollars is only partially guaranteed. So you can cut him and keep, eat half of that money on the books right there. And it gives you more money to play with too. So teams are going to want to covet probably that contract. I'm not huge on Al Horford. You dump the first round pick and Kemba Walker to get him, but it's still a favorable contract that you can start moving. Brad's actually set it up, kind of building what Danny did earlier with after the big three, kind of set himself up for the Kyrie. He's kind of doing the same thing. You saw Pat Riley do it in Miami, set up to get a superstar, and that's all what he's doing now.
Can I interrupt you again real quick? We have breaking news. Two superstars just declined their player options, so now they're free agents. Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul.
Chris Paul signed him for 3 for $90, though. That's pretty much set in stone. That came out Saturday. That deal, he's expected to sign it. He wanted to flirt with the Lakers, but now he can't with Westbrook going there. Kawhi still rumored to go back to LA. He's probably going to sign a monster supermax deal. I don't expect those guys to change. Like I said, the report right now is Phoenix is getting
the Suns, but
$90 million.
Chris Paul was getting $44.2 million. So why would he
on a 1 year deal? Now he just got fucking more money, dude. He declined it he gave it. Yeah, he might lose less salary this year, $14 million, but he's getting $90 million over 3. That's the trade. That's what he's going to get. And it's less money. So they can get a fucking team. They just lost in the NBA finals. What does he need to take $44 million? He's getting 2 more years. And now it gives him more roster flexibility with cap wise. Same thing. Fucking, you do with Jaylen Brown's on a cheap deal too. That's something like that. I
expect the trend for these veterans where for the last few years it was one and dones or one in player options like KD is still on, right? I expect that to go to long-term deals, especially for a guy like Kawhi, who's in his 30s. Obviously, Chris Paul is in his late 30s. That's more of a traditional type of deal you'll see for these type of guys. Guarantee yourself some lengthy years. I wouldn't expect Kawhi Leonard to go anywhere else, but he's
rumored for the Knicks. He's been rumored to the Knicks, the Mavs, and the Heat. So I don't know. I think there's going to be a bidding war.
We'll see. The greater point here, he's not coming to the Celtics. The Celtics, first of all, they don't have room for him this year. Third of all, it's not. I think Brad Stevens has a plan, and I think his plan is fucking Bradley Beal. But I also think, to a greater point, next year he's going to have flexibility to take any opportunity and avenue that he has to take.
What if it was Kyrie Irving?
Fuck you, Bill.
Fuck you, Bill.
Team Kyrie, baby.
And Kyrie's stupid fucking shoes. Honestly, I think Kyrie I don't think they take him. I think that his reputation around the league is dog shit now.
And he called us racist. Fuck him.
Yeah, what? The Nets have been rumored to try to get rid of him. The Knicks don't even want Kyrie Irving. So, to finish here on the Brad Stevens thought, I think it's a plus so far. He's been a plus so far. He got rid of Kemba's contract. We'll see what OKC and Presti does with him. If they get better assets than Al Horford, then maybe we can question it. But it's off the books. It's off the books. The worst contract in the league. And now
Celtics should have got Sam Presti.
Well, that's another story for another day. I don't know. Brad Stevens looks okay. Looks like he's doing okay. He's building. He's building a roster of veterans with defensive presence that come in. And his quote 2 days ago when asked about the deals, was pretty honest. This was after the draft. Actually, he said basically, there wasn't a lot of fireworks at this draft. There weren't going to be. We explored getting up in the draft, but it wasn't worth it. We have our plan. We have what we want, and what we're looking for is experience and edge. The same thing we've been calling for 3 fucking years. And I think you just said it earlier, Bill. You can tell Brad Stevens was pissed. He was given a roster of babies that he had to look after during COVID, and he's just cleaning ship, getting rid of all of them. And I will not be surprised if Marcus Smart is one of those guys to move this year. I think he's looking to get rid of him.
I think he knows he's the
biggest problem in the locker room.
Yeah. I'll respect his Minkus looking ass if he turns this team around and puts it in a winner. But Jerry's still out.
I mean, you have to say, like we said, a very unconventional move, taking your coach and moving to a GM with absolutely no experience.
You got fired, but you got a promotion. Who's ever fucking heard of that?
But Ray, doesn't it scream like now? Well, whether they're failing up, whether the Celtics ownership is failing upwards here and it's working is one thing, but it's pretty evident that Brad Stevens had his pulse on this team and what the problems were, and he is fixing them immediately and building a roster that he thinks will work around Jason and Jalen.
Well, he was right there. He was right there.
He was the guy. Exactly. To my point. He was the guy. He's the best guy to probably do it.
He had the best view out of all of us. He was in the locker room with these guys. He knows exactly what the problem was. He knows that these guys that he had, they weren't coachable. They weren't the superstars that Danny thought they were going to be, and all these trade prospects that he stashed away on this fucking terrible team and the bench that we never had. I mean, I think Brad knows exactly what he wants. He knows what the DNA of this team is. He knows what Jason and Jalen want, and he's going out there and getting it, and he's delivering right now.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm absolutely for him. So good for him. We'll see. And I don't think we're done. I don't think he's done at all.
Nope.
I think there's a lot to come here. So we'll see. That draft was pretty goddamn boring.
Yep. I don't even know who they drafted. I didn't see any pick. I knew Detroit had the first pick. Congratulations. All I know is they signed some undrafted white guy that could shoot. I don't know his name. The Celtics guy. I don't know his name, but I heard he could shoot.
Cade Cunningham was the number 1 overall pick. From then until number 45, where the Celtics pick, couldn't tell you what happened. They signed a guy named Bruno from France, and that's where he shall stay. He's another.
That sounded more Spanish, right?
No, Bruno. You never seen Bruno?
I've seen Bruno, but that sounded nothing like it. You just sounded Spanish. I'm just saying.
You're drunk, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Bruno is a 6'9" wing.
Nice.
Athletic wing, rim runner type of player. He does not fit into this equation whatsoever. It doesn't matter. The best thing to come out of draft night, Ray and I were recording when this happened, and Ray broke it. Russell Westbrook traded to the Lakers for a couple bags of poo-poo, and that's it. LeBron
James,
such
horse shit.
Yet again, gets whatever he wants at 37 years old, chasing another title, grabs another Hall of Fame player. Two Hall of Fame MVP
Does LeBron
players.
have 4 or 5?
4.
LeBron has 2 with the Heat, one with the Cavs,
and one with the Lakers. Okay, so 4.
4.
Oh God, I fucking hate you.
Isn't he 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4? Is he 4 and 4?
No, he has a losing.
Oh, he's got like
4 and 5.
4 and 6. 4 and 6. Lost 2 with the Cavs, 1 with the.
He lost his first one with the Cavs.
Yep.
He lost 1 with the Heat.
2 with the Heat. Dallas and San Antonio.
Yeah.
2 with the Heat. He's 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Nice.
4 and 6. Brady's 7 and
3. Jordan 6.
Yeah. No.
Would you rather be 7 and 3 or 6 and 0?
6 and 0.
6 and 0.
3 losses, baby. No, actually, hold on. I take it back. 7 and 3, because it was the same argument with Brady in Montana. Exactly. When Brady got 5, it was like, would you rather be 4 and 0 or 5 and 2? It's like, well, I'd rather be 5 and 2. So I mean, I don't give a shit. You made it more.
You got the winning record. This is the with LeBron being 4 and 6. It's a losing record. Not a good look. Been there 10 years out of he's been to the championship over 50% of the time he's been in the NBA.
What do you go 9 years in a row? Some ridiculous shit like that. Him and James Jones.
It's pretty ludicrous, but to the greater point, it's mainly because he's had Hall of Fame talent around him, and he's manipulated the league to get that Hall of Fame talent around him. And this is no different. You just got the reincarnated version of Oscar Robertson, what many consider to be the best point guard in the league. Think what you want about Russell Wilson, but his skill is undeniable. We'll see what he can do with LeBron James, the best player of his generation. And you tie that next to an Anthony Davis, who's, when healthy, a top 5 player in the league. It's another fucking example of LeBron James in this era just doing what they do. And it's boring. I'm not even mad anymore. It's just fucking boring. It's just like, you need another fucking guy, LeBron. Like, you failed 1 year. You need to go get another guy because you can't get that team there. It's just annoying.
I like how they said they had a meeting too. Like, they called up Russell Westbrook and said, let's put our differences aside and go win a championship. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Like, oh yeah, okay, I'll sign on the dotted line, of course.
Oh,
like,
I can't wait till Anthony Davis tears his ACL. That fucking gap tooth fuck. I cannot wait to see the demise of the Lakers last year. They tried this shit with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard with Kobe. Suck my dick, LeBron. Burn, Lakers, burn.
That's a good way to end
Couldn't
that.
say it any better. Well,
yeah, we'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and move on to some more annoying shit. The Red Sox completely, I'm going to call it a complete strikeout. Maybe a foul tip into the mitt strikeout type of move for this trade deadline. Obviously, we know by now Kyle Schwarber was the big fish that the Red Sox grabbed at the deadline. They also picked up some relievers we'll get to. But here's the first thing I want to talk about. Is Anthony Rizzo. Well, let me just lay it out for you, okay? So here's what I'm pissed about. And yet again, it's the Red Sox being the fucking Red Sox. And
stay the course, Rich. Stay the course.
The goddamn report, John Henry has told Chaim Bloom to go get Max Scherzer. The next day, Ray, I said it. I smelled bullshit as soon as this report came out. The Red Sox are not only in on Max Scherzer, but also Berrios.
I loved him.
Bullshit. That was the minute that came out. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Number one, you don't have the fucking ammunition to get him. Number two, you don't have Chaim Bloom doesn't have the experience to pull that shit off. Number three, you're cheap. They're not going to do it. This Red Sox PR agenda that they continue to drive down our throats to try and make the fans happy. It just backfires every goddamn time. Every single time. Was it not just a couple weeks before the deadline we said, hey, if they go add like a decent arm to the bullpen and maybe a decent bat at first base, we'll be happy. And then you get a week out and we're talking about the highest profiled trade targets out there are scheduled.
Hold on, the best trade deadline ever, by the way.
The best trade deadline ever. I get to just let me finish my goddamn rant because it just pisses me off so fucking bad. Tom Warner and those douchebags over there. Just like, you ever heard of under promise, over deliver? You ever heard of that one time? Do you think read the room, you bastards? The Red Sox are overachieving. We're already happy as a fan base. You've reinvigorated this fan base. You've brought people in that have not watched for 2 years to watch this team. And now you've just set yourself up for failure, telling us we're going to get Max Scherzer. And then you end up with Austin Davis. Like, give me a fucking break. And then when you go and look at what actually happened, the Anthony Rizzo is the one that we can get the most mad at. I'll throw it over to you and we can go whatever down path, whatever you want. But Anthony Rizzo going to the Yankees for something called Kevin Alcantara and Alexander Viziano, who's a pretty good pitching prospect at 24 years old, but coming off an injured list. He hasn't pitched in nearly 60 days. You can match that as the Red Sox. And more importantly, the Cubs took all of that contract and the Red Sox made it very clear they were not going to go over the luxury tax. If you're a Red Sox fan, you should be pissed. If you're a Red Sox player, you should be pissed. And I think we're seeing it because they just dropped 3 straight. Rant over. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rizzo is with these trades, it just shows the ineptitude of the Patriots farm system. Honestly, I don't think they've got Red Sox. Sorry, I want to say Patriots. Sorry, Red Sox. It just shows you. I mean, their top prospect, Tristan Casich, you're not trading him for a rental. Nope. You know what I mean? And that, I think if you look down their roster, Jeter Downs isn't high around the league. Jared Duran probably isn't untouchable right now. He's in the big leagues. You're not going to kind of move him for a rental. So if you go down, I mean, the guy they moved for Schwarber, was it the 10th ranked prospect, a pretty good pitcher down there, low A. I think he played the last 2 years in A, but he was a very high throwing pitcher. Aldo, I think his name was, or whatever. So, I mean, if you look at it, they're their roster's not deep in the minor leagues, and they couldn't compete for something. You could overpay for Rizzo. I mean, that's the biggest need. Now you went out and got Schwarber, who's an outfielder that now you're going to try an injured guy with a hamstring who's still 2 weeks away. You're going to try to play him at first base while he's trying to rehab a hamstring. So it's like you traded for a guy that's 2 weeks away. And I get it. The only reason you could have got a guy like Schwarber is because he got hurt. He had fucking 18 home runs in like 20 games or some ridiculous pace in June.
It was 15 home runs in 2 weeks.
That's the only reason you got him this year as a hitter like that. He was probably the best pure hitter on the market with the way, I mean, he's 25 home runs, and you got him because he got hurt, but still, he's still 2 weeks away. You needed to make guys that are making impacts now. Hanzo Robles, he can suck my dick. He's terrible. He hasn't been good in at least 2 years.
Hold on, Billy Ramos. Ray, let me ask you a question. Maybe Ray baseball Ray. Maybe you know this or maybe not. The two biggest needs for the Red Sox going into this deadline were
pitching and first base.
And who did they acquire to meet those needs?
Schwarber and a guy named Austin Davies from the Pirates, and I forgot the other guy.
The correct answer is nobody.
They
got nobody to fill those holes. They got nobody to fill those holes. This is not Monday night at Ray's mom house. Those holes are continue to be left empty.
And always filled.
Damn it.
It's Sunday. You're giving them layups here, man. That's a fast break layup.
We actually have a strong worded email that we have to
We have several strong worded emails to get to.
We'll get to those in the after show. The greater point here. So let me finish it up with the Hansel.
Can I go real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to play the polar opposite of you guys. I think I like what Chaim Bloom did here because all that Boston did was roast Dave Dombrowski when we sold the farm just to win a championship and then went into mediocre for the past 3 years. So I kind of like what he did. He's staying the course. He's building up that farm system. He's not letting go of anyone that he wants. So I kind of applaud him. And, he's getting roasted by Boston right now because, it's a win now kind of mentality. But he's not giving up for these rental pieces. And I kind of like that.
Okay, fair enough. Let me go though, Bill. Fair enough. But my greater anger is with the PR spin that we get out of Fenway constantly. It pisses me off beyond belief. And not going over the luxury tax, which Chaim Bloom literally said we were cautious of it and we were aware of it. We were in on a couple guys that would have took us over, but we're not. And what he's saying is we believe that our team in 3 years from now is going to be good enough where we'll be willing to go over the tax because of the penalties that you incur if you're over the tax multiple years, which Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 5% of the amount you go over in the first year you have to pay in tax. If you go over 40 million in tax, which is very hard to do, you have to start giving up draft picks, which the Red Sox have done.
They have done, yeah.
And to give you an idea of what the league is right now, I think the Yankees just went over the tax with their latest acquisitions. The Dodgers were over by 17 million before they got Scherzer and Trey Turner, and the Red Sox were under by $1 million. So obviously we're in COVID times. Not a lot of owners are looking to dump that money. I guess you can understand that, but no, fuck you. You're the Red Sox. You're worth like $200 billion fucking dollars. There's no excuse not to go over the tax. And if it was paying Anthony Rizzo's contract was the reason you didn't get Anthony Rizzo, which fit both of those needs with a left-handed bat and a first baseman, then shame on you. Shame on the Red Sox.
So
you should
be
mad about that. You should be mad about that because, to your point, Ray, they wouldn't have had to sold out the farm to get him. The Yankees overpaid a little bit because they didn't have to pay the salary for Rizzo. So they actually overpaid a little bit, and you still could have matched the prospects that the Yankees sent over there. You should be mad about that one. And then just real quickly to give you the pitchers that they brought in here, the whopping reinforcements that they got coming into the bullpen. Michael Chavis went to Pittsburgh for Austin Davis, who this year has a 5.74 ERA. We're not quite sure what that spin rate looks like. And they sent Alex Scherf, some minor league player, for Hansel Robles, who has a 4.9 ERA. Hansel and Gretel coming to the league, over to Boston. I don't know. Are they going to be better than Andreezy? And they just let Workman go. They just fucking let.
Yeah, I trust Robles more than Brandon Workman at this point. I mean, he's still got.
I do too. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing to see. To your point, Bill, in one of the craziest, best MLB deadlines we've ever seen, something like 10 All-Stars were moved. Rizzo, Bryant, Kimbrel, Baez all shipped out from the Cubs in that fire sale. Scherzer and Trey Turner end up going to the Dodgers, for half their fucking system. Nelson Cruz obviously went to Tampa earlier.
Jock Peterson, Adam Duvall went to the Braves. There's a lot of moves.
There's a lot of big names, and
Gibson and Gibson and Ian Kennedy going to the Phillies kind of hurt. Rich, we were texting back and forth all day on Friday. Ray, we thought you were dead, but that's another story. And I said they're in on that, and then another bullpen guy. That would have been a perfect addition. You could have got them both. I don't think Philly gave up a ton.
Sorry to interrupt. They got Gibson for a
Spencer
player to
Howard.
Be named later.
No, Spencer Howard. Their best. It was Spencer Howard. They were their best.
Sure?
Yeah, their best pitching prospect, but he hasn't looked good in the majors. He's had a few starts this year, had a couple starts last year, but he hasn't looked good. So you got Gibson and Ian Kennedy, who's been the closer in Texas. I mean, that's a good. And Gibson's like 2.9 ERA, maybe lower. He's like fifth in the league, American League right now, and he's like almost strike out a game, and you let a guy like that go. That one hurt.
I enjoyed that. You were talking about that so high, and then the next thing I saw on my phone, Phillies trade for him. I was like, oh, it sucks for you, Bill.
No, that's the one. That's just shit they're in on. You'd like that's a move they had to make. And
of course,
the Phillies gave up Spencer Howard again, their number one pitching prospect. But Gibson had another 2 years. Next year, he's an arbitration guy too, and it's like that's the one you wanted to hit. I mean, you want Bloom to still build for the future. That's a guy that you have control of for the next a year and a half, and that's going to help your team right now. You're in a tight race in the AL East, and you had two fucking bums. You're in second place now. It's the first time since June 26th. And now you didn't lock it up. You watched Tampa make a move. The Yankees make major moves in Joey Gallo, who's a left-handed bat in a short porch in right field. That's huge. Anthony Rizzo, another fucking guy they added. What the fuck is his name? Andrew Heaney out there from Anaheim, another pitcher that they added to that shit rotation. So it's like they all made moves. Then you saw Toronto at Berrios and fucking Brad Hand went there in Toronto. So it's like you saw the Red Sox get Hand and Schwarber and 2 bags of shit. That hurts. Like I haven't wrote off the Yankees. I hope to do it after the last series, but now you saw them making reinforcements. They're only 4.5, 5 out. Now you have the Red Sox coming off a 3 straight losses to Tampa, who's surging now. They've lost 5 straight to Tampa right now. So I mean, you're the only one in the division besides the shitbag Baltimore who had no chance to make moves, and you did nothing. I would not be surprised if fucking Toronto and the Yankees pass the Red Sox. I swear to God, with these moves, I don't think Chris Sale's coming back is enough to make this. You have Martin Perez, who's given up 35 runs in his last 40 innings, and fucking Garrett Richards being Garrett Richards. Those are 2 guys that you got to DFA one of them, move on into the bullpen, and you can't rely on Chris Sale. As much as I want to, he's still an unknown until he starts pitching in this fucking league. He got kind of not lit up Saturday in Worcester, but he didn't look great. 5 innings, threw 87 pitches, but he didn't look awesome.
Yeah, you can hear the frustration in your voice. The Red Sox could have done more, should have done more. The players earned the right for their management to do more, and I think that they fell short. And I don't think that enough is being made on the biggest piece that they got in old Schwab over there. He's not back for 2 weeks. He's not back for 2. You could be in third in 2 weeks. And what's Kyle Schwarber going to do for you? So, it might be
fucking mash. That's what he's going to do.
A real rude awakening for Chaim Bloom here in his Boston tenure. Because, Bill, you've been waiting for the bottom to drop out on this team all season long. A lot of people have. I thought they've proven us wrong. And maybe they still have. They've been resilient all season long. This is the biggest test they're going to take, dropping 4 of the last 5, 3 straight to division rivals. You're giving up that lead. Hey, Xander, I know you're up to opt out of Boston. They just felt like not going over the tax for this year when you have a chance at the World Series. You want to sign back in here? Think about it, you fuckbag. God, so frustrating.
Told you he's opting out.
Fuck you, Bill.
So I've been saying it.
Frustrating. All right, Ray, this one's for you. I know you wanted to touch on this. We're going to shift gears here into a quick hockey story, an incredible hockey story.
It's amazing.
I apologize. I didn't have a chance to really dive into this.
It's a doozy.
Turn it over to you guys then. Evander Kane makes he's been making headlines for a year on his bankruptcy
chapter 7.
His lack
after signing a monster deal.
Yeah, he makes about 6-7 a year.
Remember when it came out, people thought that the San Jose Sharks were filing for bankruptcy, and then it was just Evander Kane, he's just in that.
Dude, he got sued from a casino, $500,000.
Yeah. So he, the latest headline here is his ex-wife came out and said basically that he was throwing games to win some gambling, to make some money on gambling to pay down his debts. That's as far as I got. Sorry.
There's more to it. So his wife's been on social media. Basically, Evander Kane's over in Europe right now in a luxury hotel while his house is getting foreclosed on, and I believe she's either pregnant or has a.
I didn't hear this. I love it.
Young child. The house is getting foreclosed on. She's in the process of moving while he's out there in Europe with luxury hotels. Going to fancy dinners. This is all on her social media. She posted on an Instagram story, and. Basically, the next one was, out to Gary Bettman saying, how can you let a player in your league bet on his own team and the outcome of his game? And that's when a lot of news stories started to go in, and then NHL is now investigating it. But yeah, basically, this guy's a fucking shitbag. He doesn't care about his wife and his fucking family. He's out in Europe spending money that he actually filed for bankruptcy, and now there's word that he's betting on NHL games that he's involved in. So that's a fucking recipe for disaster for this guy.
Sounds like a scorned ex-wife. She's blasting him on social media, traveling in Europe. Then it's like, hey, I need some more attention to this, and this is the shit that happens. Team Evander Kane right here. I know he's a degenerate gambler, but he had his best season last year.
Classic Billy Trash Can.
One shit bag to another.
Hey, it's a scoring wife. I can't wait for it to come out true.
Yeah, here's the great. I know.
Right? Doesn't it sound shady?
It all sounds shady. I know we're hot take artists here, and you're supposed to pick a side, but I guarantee it's shit on both sides. I guarantee Evander Kane does not have a clean record.
Maybe it's not his baby.
Well, that's very possible. True. I just, it sounds like everyone is a bad party.
Be Joe Thornton's.
None of it is. Well, that'd be pretty easy to identify with. But wild story. I mean, this might sound bad, but I kind of hope it comes out that he did throw games, because a good gambling conspiracy theory thing that comes through in sports, he doesn't get much better than that, especially like when people are throwing games.
Oh, I'd love it.
Evander would get dragged, especially in a sport like hockey, where with like the fans are so fucking
diehard.
Well, yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Pretentious about their fucking sport. Like nothing can.
Not just the stupid Canadians.
It would be so juicy.
But even if he gambled on but what if he even comes out and he just gambled like on NHL?
I left that one alone.
Pete Rose is never going into the MLB for gambling on his team. So Evander Kane will get dragged, and he's no Pete Rose. So juicy stuff, juicy story there. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, and then lastly, I just wanted to give a quick little Olympics update, because so this was Saturday, I guess, that swimming ended. The United States swim team fucking dominates. I know this is
in the world.
Every Olympics they always dominate, and I know that Michael Phelps was record breaking. This one didn't quite touch that, but it came pretty freaking close, and it's always impressive to see. So the U.S. got 30 medals, 11 of them golds. Caleb Dressel and his intimidating tattoos, Bill, you must love this guy, got 5 golds, set a world record in the 100 meter free. Bobby Finke won the 800, and Katie Ledecky continues her tear of collecting golds. They just fucking crushed. They just absolutely crushed.
They were dominant of the swim, so that's all it is.
Yeah, you guys keep fucking slap dicks. Let me finish this up. Xander Schauffele wins gold in golf for America. Track and field, Marcel Jacobs of Italy, but he was born in Texas, so I'm going to take that one. He won the 100
bullshit.
When's the last time an Italian? When's the last time an Italian won fucking gold?
That's an American.
He's an American. He's from Texas.
An American. Yeah. The fuck? That means he couldn't make the American team.
I enjoyed the women, though. The women 100, all 3 Jamaicans placed. That was amazing.
Did you see that one? If she was like the one that won gold. If I wasn't pointing to the skies, I could have ran faster, but I didn't care, or some shit like that.
Hey, ask me if I watched the track and field race. No, I didn't, because they're boring and dumb. After watching all of these,
did you watch beach volleyball today?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, buddy.
Canadian team is who I'm rooting for. Miss Wilkerson, kudos. It's just after
what happened to? Can I stop you? No, let me stop you. What happened to American volleyball, beach volleyball?
They died with the 2 hot chicks.
Yeah, the Missy whatever.
The big redheaded woman. No, thank you.
Great butts on those two too.
Oh yeah.
Just swallow your whole.
Anyway,
the shorts are they're
your dick.
God damn it. Let me just say this. I've followed more Olympics than I ever have before because of this show. Number one, it's extremely hard. I don't know how people do it. I don't know what's live. I don't know what's not live. I don't know what if this is a medal race, if it's not, this is a qualifier. I don't know what the hell is going on until it's done. And then someone tells me if they won a medal or not. It's really, really frustrating. This is a Simple Mind sports show. So take that with a grain of salt. And secondly, after watching all of these sports, track and field is by far the most boring sport.
Oh, fuck you.
By far the most boring of them all.
That's because you can't run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are you talking to, Bill?
Fuck you. You run like Steven Seagal. Fuck off.
I don't even know what that means. The latest
Look it up.
The latest medal count: the United States 59, China 51, and the fake Russians 42. China's got 24 golds. The United States have 20. Let's pick it up. But let's call that 21 because we're stealing the Italian's fastest man in the world because he's from Texas. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show. Monday headlines, August 3rd, August 2nd. God damn it.
Jesus. Flip your calendar, you idiot.
We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, welcome to the after show. Let's get into some strongly worded emails. It's been a while.
I like how he even had headers on it.
Yeah, well, is that what you like? Because the first one I'm going to read here, which is the second one we got, it's not addressed to anybody, but we know exactly who it's addressed to.
We exactly know it.
So this is a strongly worded email from our one of our listeners.
Oh, it's been a while. I love it.
Uber, right? It's just titled Wrestling.
Yeah.
With a capital W. And this is how it starts. What are you guys, fucking stupid? No question mark. So let me.
So he knows that we're stupid. So that's
what are you guys fucking stupid? Now it still sounds like a question because it is. Wrestling was the original Olympic event. I did that in high school, and it is a lot harder than it looks. You know what's harder than it looks? That's you. Never mind. Wrestling.
I've been leaving so many of them alone this tonight.
So did a little wrestling in high school. That thinks he's got to stand up for it, huh?
The other one was better. The other one was better.
Okay, well, I just don't want to give you an opportunity.
Was that on me? Did I say wrestling was dumb?
Oh, I think he called all of us stupid because none of us like the Greco wrestling, which, by the way, neither does NBC because I haven't seen that shit once.
Yeah, because no one gives a fuck.
I don't think it's been on yet.
No one gives a shit.
No one cares, Ray. You want to see wrestling? Go watch some real shit where they kick the crap out of each other, not just fucking roll around like they're in a burlesque show.
What about the WWE? You guys been going back and forth on that. Ray got real mad at Bill the other day. We had to shut down the text chain for a sec. He didn't even say you were banging kids this time. This one's also not the next strongly worded email that we received is also not it's not directed towards anyone in particular, but of course we know who it is based on the comments. Here's the header, the subject line. Rockets? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. You shot rockets? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I've heard they're more like those snip hingy kids throw on the ground. What are they called?
Those little snappers.
I know, but what is hingus? He says, I've heard they're more like those snap hinges the kids throw on the ground.
Yeah. We know where he's going with that.
Oh, man, I'm so glad we got one of these.
The line is perfect. I just don't know what HINGIS, snap hingus, snap hingus.
We'll have another strongly worded email after this one.
He capitalized the H, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. I'm sure I didn't. The line is good. Rockets? I heard like the little snap hinges.
Oh,
you must have had a couple Italian margaritas and then decided to write this. So
hey, I respect it. You earned it. The Rockets line did.
It was a doozy.
It was a doozy.